Hey everyone, I'm back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I hope that you've had a wonderful week. For those of you who are new to Mental Health Moment, welcome, welcome. It's Dr. Hammond here. We do Mental Health Moment every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube page, and LinkedIn Live. For those of you, thanks for those who are starting to join here. It's Dr. Hammond here with your Mental Health Moment. For those of you who tune in every single Tuesday at 8 p.m., welcome back. I appreciate you so much. I am elated every time when I see familiar faces because it just shows me that you are taking the time to work on you, which is a beautiful, wonderful, amazing thing. So welcome back. And again, thank you for those who are starting to join here. From Zephyr Hills, welcome, welcome. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I had a very interesting weekend, and I'm going to share a little bit of it with you today because I learned so much over the past weekend. I went to a really, really amazing experience, and I really want to share some of the information from that because, again, for those of you who are new to Mental Health Moment, these times are really for you to take the time to think about where do you need to go next? How do you invest in yourself? How do you become the best version of who you are meant to be, right? And who you deserve to be? And again, with this improvement in yourself, you're obviously going to be impacting those positively around you as well. So it's all around a bonus, right? Nice to meet you as well. Thanks for those who are starting to join here. San Francisco's in the house. Welcome, Zephyr Hills. Nice to meet you. Also, it's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. So the event that I was just speaking to you about from this past weekend, and some of you may have heard of it, but it's called Invest Fest. And it was in Atlanta. It's a 2.5 day or so event. And what's interesting, so in case some of you haven't heard, there's an organization called Earn Your Leisure. And there's a the goal of it is really to teach financial literacy in all different forms. So the event is called Invest Fest. And hi, thanks for those who are still starting to join here. So what was really fascinating about this time in Atlanta was there were amazing speakers, very inspirational speakers all throughout the weekend. Tyler Perry came out there, which was exciting, and Steve Harvey was out there. Dan Cathy, who is the chairman of Chick-fil-A, was out there, and just really, really prominent, amazing, successful people. But what was so fascinating, and thanks for those who are still starting to join here, what was so fascinating about this event, and that's why I wanted to share it so much with you all, was I felt like the theme, yes, the event was about financial literacy and investing and all these great things, but the theme that I heard from these amazing individuals was how powerful your mindset is and how much you need to invest in your mindset. And for those of you, blessings to you as well. For those of you who have been a part of this mental health movement for the past couple of years here, you know that is something that I always preach on this show. But it was just fascinating to me. And some of you may have already heard the story of Steve Harvey and Tyler Perry, which actually they had some similarities in their story. You hear their stories about being homeless at some point in their life. And then here they are, these really amazing, successful, influential individuals who, by the way, give back so much, which is incredible to me. But also, again, them talking about your mindset and how important it is for you. And hi, thanks to those who are still starting to join here. It's Dr. Someone said, love me some Chick-fil-A. That is hilarious. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I'm reading some of your comments. Y'all are making me laugh. Grand evening to you as well from California is in the house. Let me see who else is here. Jacksonville's here. Another person from California, Cincinnati. And well, we talked about San Francisco earlier. So yes, good to see you all. So again, what is so fascinating is not only is mindset important, but no matter your circumstances, this is something that's very, very important. If you take anything out of today's mental health moment, I really want to remind you, no matter what your past was, that does not dictate what your future will be. That is just a fact. Being a psychologist, being in the world of mental health, I see all the statistics, I see all the research, I get it. Yes, I understand that. However, who is to say, wherever you came from, wherever your background, whatever it was, who is to say that you are not in the part of the statistics that who is going to be successful, who is going to be the person who is going to have wellness, who is going to have a way to take care of themselves and to better themselves and to get out of that depression or get out of that anxiety or whatever it is that you may be going through. Yes, you may have a family history of this, that, or whatever. I can go on and on about that research. The point is, I want to stress to you all these stories, well, definitely Steve Harvey, definitely Tyler Perry, Dan Cathy. Like I said, there were so many speakers and I was so inspired. But again, you don't have to be a billionaire watching this right now to understand that it really is about your mindset. But it was so fascinating, and not just those speakers, but many other speakers talking about how they were at a really, really low point in life. Homelessness, it's a I would think it's a very difficult, right? It's a difficult point, obviously, in life. It's a stressful point. It's difficult. Whether it is homelessness, whether it is drugs and alcohol, whether it is depression, whether it's anxiety, whether your family or whatever happened in your life to you personally or to your family members or your friends, whomever it is, I just really, really, really want to remind you out there that it does not determine what your future is going to look like. Please, please, please understand. Please understand that is the case, because I can understand that false view, because that's just how society is sometimes, telling us who we are supposed to be, who we're not supposed to be. You deserve to be happy and you deserve to be healthy and you deserve to have positive mental health. So if you need to tell yourself that on a daily basis, I know for some of you, you are into your affirmations because you told me before, which is awesome. If you need to tape it to your mirror in the bathroom, if you need to put it in your car or wherever place that you see often, a post-it note with those things, please remind yourself you deserve to be happy. You deserve to have positive mental health. You deserve to be healthy. You deserve that. And again, it just doesn't matter what your beginning circumstances is. I forgot what the quote is right now off the top of my head, but it's just, there's a really good quote about that exact thing, about how our beginning, our our childhoods, or maybe it's your teen years, maybe it's your 20s, 30s, or whatever part of your life, whatever it is that happened to you, or again to someone else, that it doesn't automatically mean that things are going to be a failure. It doesn't automatically mean you're going to have whatever it is that this other person has, hereditary, like all of that. It doesn't have to mean that. And the most important thing I want you to think about is how, again, you can invest in yourself. because again, and good evening for those who are starting to join here. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. Let's see here. From Texas, we got Texas in the house, Tampa, St. Louis, Tennessee, Deltona's in the house, Virginia, California. So thanks so much for joining here. Napa Valley's in the house with a little wine emoji beside it. It's all good. So thanks for joining here. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. If you're just tuning in, I was talking a little bit about my experience this past weekend at an event called Invest Fest, which was in Atlanta and was absolutely just amazing. Had the most amazing speakers, had the most amazing entertainment. There was 12,000 people there, which is insane. Last year I went to this event and there were 4,000 people. So this year, to have, like, they triple the amount of people learning about financial literacy was absolutely amazing. But not only learning about financial literacy, but also hearing from these speakers. And again, as I mentioned, I was very inspired, which is why I'm sharing it with you, because of how a lot of people, I would say the majority of the speakers, talked about how important mindset was in their journey. So again, wherever you're at in your journey, I'm going to ask you, And I'm gonna have you write it down if you're taking notes. I know some of you say you have your pen and paper ready for mental health moments. So write down for yourself, how am I investing in myself? Okay, or you can write in the chat too, to remind people, how am I investing in myself? Meaning, there's a lot of ways you can invest in yourself. And I know when people hear the word investment, the first thing they think about is money. It could be that if you want it to. It could be you spending money on yourself in whatever way that looks like for you, that brings you joy, that brings you self care, that helps you become a better person. Or it could be you investing your time in yourself. So some of you that follow me on Instagram, you see, because I'm always trying to post and remind people, my hashtag is always take a minute. And when I travel throughout different places in the country, I try my best if I can, even if it's a little bit of time, to spend some time in nature. If it's a sunset, if it's a park, if it's usually it's not a sunrise because I'm not a morning person. But any aspect, just a calming aspect to really think about recentering and recharging. So that again, it takes no money to watch a sunset, but it takes some of my time. So do you need to invest more time in yourself? Do you need to invest more money somehow in yourself? Do you need to really think about shifting in a certain area of your life? Where are you at physically? Where are you at financially? Where are you at mentally, emotionally, socially, right? Those are the things that you have. I can't answer that question for you, obviously, but you can, when you take the time with yourself to really think about it. Because again, a lot of us, and I get it, I'm busy too. We are busy. I feel like, I don't know how you guys feel, but I feel like after COVID, it's like the work, like we were on shutdown, right? Lockdown in 2020, and everything was quiet. We're all at home. We're stressing, understandably, about COVID and this and that. But everything was just quiet. And then it's like the world opened back up, and we went from like 0 to 100, and everything's busy and hectic, and we're back to our busy crazy schedules, right? So because of that though, it's really really imperative that even though it's busy, we're all busy, we're doing all these things, you take the time to ask yourself, how am I investing in myself? Which is important. It is not selfish for you to invest in yourself. Please don't allow society to make you think that way. You do not have to put any person on this planet above you. You have to be investing in you in order for you to be the best version of who you are for whomever it is in your life who's around you, right? For you too, but also the people who are around you, because they're going to be impacted by that. So again, so again, someone said, I'm investing in writing a novel to leave a legacy, especially for my family. Beautiful. That's a great thing. For a lot of people, writing is therapeutic, which is great. Someone says, I'm in Atlanta and I haven't heard of the event. Yeah, so it's in Atlanta. Well, this is the second year, so it's a newer event. If you go to Earn Your Leisure on Instagram, you can learn all about that group and yeah, in the event, which is also, I think they're having another Invest Fest in London, I believe, in October. But you can go to their Instagram and find out more information if you want to about that. Greetings from the Philippines. Welcome to you as well. Rochester's in the house. Welcome. New Orleans in the house. Awesome. My contact information, sure thing. If you go to drnekeshiahammond.com, that's the easiest way to contact me, or also Instagram, Dr.Hammond, or Facebook, Dr. Nekeshia Hammond. So super easy ways, or some other, if you're on other social media platforms, I'm on there too. But you can always send me a direct message on there, or go to drnekeshiahammond.com. Let's see. Albany, New York is in the house. Wonderful, wonderful. Someone says, I invest in my time, my peace of mind. Yes, very, very important. And again, you know what's so fascinating about, that's a really good point. I'm glad you brought that up. What's really fascinating about taking the time to invest in your peace of mind, and we talked about this a couple mental health moments ago. We talked about taking a take a minute challenge. But what's fascinating about that is you can train your brain. It takes time, depending on where you're at in your wellness journey, but you can train your brain to slow down for a bit and to appreciate those, even if it's a small moment, to have some peace of mind. Otherwise, it's hectic. There's just so many things being thrown at us all the time. We are inundated by the news, by social media, by things going on in our personal lives, by our family, by our friends. Like it can be overwhelming. So when you learn though to take the time to find those spaces of peace of mind, it's a really great thing. Highly would recommend it. So I'm glad somebody brought that up. Um, someone says you should consider. No, someone says we give and pour out so much into others. It's so important that we also take time and pour into our own life as well. You couldn't have said it better. Very, very true. I am all, listen. Well, for those of you who are new to Mental Health Moment, hi, I'm Dr. Nekeshia Hammond. I thoroughly enjoy pouring time into nonprofits and pouring time into different projects I'm involved with. I'm usually running around different cities throughout the country and doing different events and things like that. So I absolutely agree. Please pour your time into your community and to your friends and your family. However, big asterisk, however, you have to also pour the time into yourself. Speaking of which was interesting to me, I spoke at a group a couple of weeks ago, and there were about 700 people in the audience. And I remember I asked the group, I said, raise your hand if you think that you do a good job with self-care, with taking care of yourself. And I think 5 people raised their hand. And I was like, oh no. Right. And it's funny because the audience started just cracking up and kind of laughing, but looking at each other, right? But here's the thing. I was chuckling too, because I'm like, okay, thank you for your honesty. But it doesn't even matter where you're at. If you're like, Dr. Hammond, I don't take good care of myself. I've never taken good care of myself. I don't know how to take good care of myself, right? Or I don't feel like putting me first, or any of those things that you're saying, you can always still start. There is no wrong time to start, right? So again, your past does not dictate what your future has to be. Could it influence it? Yes, of course. Our past choices and decisions, of course, they influence it, but it doesn't dictate or guarantee anything about the future. There are people that have completely turned their lives around. And again, as I mentioned this past weekend from this event and hearing from so many speakers, different walks of life, I was blown away. Let me tell you, motivated, inspired. Absolutely. I'm a psychologist, you all. By trade, I love hearing people's positive stories, their successes, their inspiration. They turn their life around. I love all that because the fact of the matter is we're all human. So there's no perfect person out there. So I share this with you because I want you to understand, please, I beg you actually, to not be worrying about where you came from, what you didn't do, what you did do. I should have done this better. The self-blame game, it doesn't help. And I know it's an easy thing to say, and there's a lot of guilt that all of us have at some points about not doing what we should do, not taking care of ourselves, all of that. I get that, but also please start. If you're at the beginning of this journey, please start to think about, again, ask yourself the question, how can I invest in myself? Whatever that looks like for you. Again, everybody's at different point. You might be like, Dr. Hammond, I need to reset and recharge my spiritual life. Go ahead. Right? Take the steps you need. Maybe you're like, this is the year, like, I need to get my spiritual life together. That's cool. That's great. Or maybe you're like, this is the year physically, I have not been taking care of myself. I haven't been eating right. I haven't been sleeping right. I haven't exercised, whatever it is. I need to work on my tempo, on my physical being. Do that. Or you may say, mentally, I'm just drained. I'm exhausted all the time. We don't want that either. We want you to have good energy, right? So whatever area it is, or areas, which is okay, it is for you, then you start to really focus on that path. Someone said, let me go back. Someone said Atlanta's in the house. Welcome, welcome. I was just there yesterday. Yeah, came back yesterday. I was there for the weekend till Monday. Someone said working out. Great choice. I love that too. That's one of my stress relievers for sure. Someone said Maryland's in the house. Welcome, welcome. Someone said, are you in private practice? I am. I've been in private practice since 2009. Feels like just yesterday. It hasn't been. So when I am at my private practice, my specialty area is with children and teens doing evaluations. So I don't do therapy, but I know a lot of people who do. So if you do need, as a side note, if you do need a therapist, any mental health resources, you can always reach out. I will try my best to find someone in your area, even if you're not in the Tampa, Florida area. But I don't do therapy, but I do evaluations for kids, usually ADHD, learning disability, gifted, those types of evaluations when I'm at the practice. And then the other half of the time, I'm usually out doing some other project like speaking or working on different events within the community. You're welcome. Someone said, I'm a therapist. Things have been so hectic. I need a moment or two or five. I hear you. You know what? There was just an article the other day about that, about the toll that not just the pandemic, but the last couple years combined has really had on therapists, frankly. But also, I would say, if even if you're not a therapist watching this and you know that you're like a giver, like more of a giver, you're really taking a lot of time to be helping a lot of people. You're just a good-hearted person. Like if you're in that boat, you really, really, really need to make sure you're taking care of yourself because burnout is very real. I don't even know how many presentations I did over the past couple years on burnout because it just was a topic with pandemic. But burnout can be very real. So please, y'all, I beg you, take care of yourselves. Again, if you know you're just the extra giving person, I'm like, I gotta help this person. Make sure you take the extra time to take care of you. Very important. Oops, let's go back to the other comment here. But golly, we got some spam. Okay, y'all just ignore the spam in the comments. I'm trying to get to your comments. And of course, yeah, sometimes we got a little spam alert. So we can just go ahead and ignore that. Someone said, I'm moving towards being an empty nester, so I'm trying to pour more into myself and my self-care, but it's hard to slow down. You know, here's what's interesting. I'm glad you brought that up as a topic. So what I would say is when it comes to self-care, because a lot of times people think, I don't know why, like there's this perception about self-care, like everything has to shut down, everything has to slow down, and like you have to be a different person, which is absolutely not true, by the way, you all. So when it comes to true self-care for you, you have to make sure you keep who you are, your personality. If you're like, I'm gonna go, you can still be that person, but still integrate the self-care into your life. Make sure that you're doing more things that bring you joy. Let me tell you, true story. Currently, right now, I feel like this past year, like I said, COVID, it's like the world opened up and things got so crazy and hectic. So 2022 has been a very, very, very busy year for me. Probably, I don't know, the busiest year in a while. But I will say that this type of busy, if it makes sense, is amazing. I love it because I love what I'm doing right now. I have made a conscious decision to incorporate as much self-care as possible. Am I still on a plane most weeks, running around, doing a million projects? Yes, but still incorporating the self-care. And because I love what I'm doing so much, half of what I'm doing doesn't really feel like work. It's really fun to me. It's exciting. I'm integrating the self-care. I'm meeting amazing people, right? So that's what I would remind you of. If you're just like, man, it's hard for me to slow down, but are you drained? Because if you're drained, you might need to, I'm not saying it. Okay, please understand. I'm not telling you all to quit your job. So please don't go out back and say like, Dr. Hammond said, quit my job. Definitely not telling you to do that. But certain things in your life, what I'm saying is to shift and think about maybe you need to make some changes if you're doing a lot, but it's not fulfilling for you. Think about making some changes. Think about adding in more joy into your life, right? Because this, like I said, the same amount of time, as hectic and crazy as it is right now for me, I'm pretty really happy with my schedule and the things I'm involved in currently versus many, many years ago when I spent a whole lot of hours doing some parts of the things that I was not enjoying. It can take a toll, right, on your mental health. So that's something that you really want to keep in mind. So thank you for sharing that. Um, so yeah, you all just, someone said, I really need to work on my physical body with a laughing face. What? Why? Okay. Let me, for those of you who are listening to this later, and you might not be seeing the comments, it says, I really, capital really, need to work on my physical body with a laughing emoji. Okay. You made me laugh the way you typed that. So first of all, there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely positively nothing wrong with needing to work on your physical body. Like that's a great thing to start there. And again, we all of us, we talked about this on another mental health moment, but all of us physically, whatever you want to do to, I know work on is kind of a broad statement, but making it a goal that's achievable, that's measurable. What ways are you going to do that? Like that's a great thing. That's a great thing to take that start. So so I say again, do something that is enjoyable though. Don't do something that, if, I don't know, some people hate running, don't run. There's many other ways to exercise, right? So whatever you hate, don't do it, and do the things that you love to do but are still going to get you the same result. Is what I would say to that. But yeah, y'all are making me laugh today with these comments. So you're welcome. Oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on. Hi there from Georgia. Welcome, welcome. I'm trying to scroll through. Someone said mental health is great. And financial stability and financial freedom is also great. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Someone said, how am I investing in myself? Someone said, more time to myself, me time, more exercise / physical health, social awareness, my legacy, peace of mind, lessen my amount of time on social media, travel, read books of my liking, treat myself to more massages, meditate more, watch comedies. And I love old school cartoons. LOL. It's nothing wrong with that. Thank you for sharing those. Thank you for sharing those. Very, very important. And I like that you had that long list of things, because here's the thing, there's so many parts of us, you all. So again, that's why I always say do what works for you. But there's so many parts of who you are. Nothing wrong with having a long list. And here's the reality, honestly, too. I don't know about you all, but when it came to COVID, a lot of us, whatever your self-care list was, let's say, a lot of us couldn't do it. We were sitting at home. If your list involved leaving the house and going somewhere, you couldn't do it, right? We were on shutdown. So my point is, when you make a longer list of things that you want to invest yourself in, there's certain times you'll have more money in life. There's certain times you have less money in life. There's certain times you have more time, you have less time. So your life is always going to shift and change. But when you have that list, you can adjust. You don't have just one thing, right? What are multiple things? So I like that you that gave all those examples. Those are great things, by the way. Someone said, thank you for this. I love it. Someone said, hey, from New Orleans. Welcome, welcome. Nice to have you. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. So again, so as I wrap up here today, I want to remind you again to think about how you want to invest in yourself. And remember, investment comes in many different forms. So again, it could be investing your money, it could be investing your time, it could be investing your talents in some ways. But again, really, I really want for you to think about, how do you retrain your brain? And one of the ways to retrain your brain is to think about, always be thinking about, how can I make my mindset stronger? How can I be better? How can I thrive? How can I improve? You know what's funny? True story. When you start to ask yourself that, because I've been doing that, well, I've probably been doing that for a long time, because I like psychology and I like mental health. But really, when you really start to do that, what's really fascinating is that you will just start to hear around you, be like, oh my God, someone recommended a great book to you about mindsets. Now, oh, you learned about this podcast about mindset. Like your heart and your mind will be so open to hearing about different resources. Like, okay, let me try that. Because again, some of you are like, Dr. Hammond, please don't recommend a book. I hate reading. No problem. But you might be a podcaster. Maybe you want to listen, or you might be a YouTuber. Maybe you want to watch a video. Whatever form that works for you, make sure that you're constantly in the practice of, how can I retrain my mind? How can I have a stronger mindset? How can I take care of myself? If you do those three things, it really, I'm not guaranteeing anything, but it can really help on your journey. It just can, when you're taking care of yourself and you're training your mind to be stronger every day, right? Let me see. Someone said the new environment. Yeah, someone said they moved and the new environment changed our overall mental health priorities. Sometimes people need to change their environment, even if it means stepping to the next room. Absolutely. Environment is key. Man, oh, that's another whole mental health moment. Maybe that'll be next week. No, that's a whole another mental health moment. Honestly, to your point about changing your environment, oh, there's so much research on it too. But even, you know what, even if you say, but Dr. Hammond, I can't move, I would love to move, but I can't move or any of that. Even when you change your environment, it could be your wherever you live. It could be lighting a candle, it could be turning on music, it could be clearing the space. Like there's so many things about like what you are physically around, what you surround yourself with, as well as people and things like that. But where you're spending a lot of your time, which really impacts your mental health as well. And even if you don't feel it up front, it just in the back of your head, it impacts you. So thanks for mentioning that. Let's see. So if you guys need me, drnekeshiahammond.com. There's also, I can't remember if I announced it to you all, but there's also new toolkits on the site as well. So there used to be 2 digital toolkits. Now there's 7 on there, but there's different toolkits about self-care. If you're a parent, there's information on there for teachers. There's information for kids about ADHD, depression, anxiety. So there's a lot of different groups that can benefit from these digital toolkits. So it's at drnekeshiahammond.com/toolkit. The toolkits are absolutely free. That is my gift to the community. There's no email sign up, none of that. If you need it, you go on there, you download it, and you're welcome. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so it's a digital toolkit. Feel free to share. And yeah, I think that's it for today. So if you need me, you know where to reach me, drnekeshiahammond.com, or again, Instagram, dr.hammond, Facebook, Dr. Nekeshia Hammond, or pretty much all the social media platforms, also LinkedIn and all the other social media platforms. So you can always send me your message on there as well. Someone said, where can I find your toolkit? Sorry, I said that really fast. You can go to drnekeshiahammond.com/toolkit. And you can find them on there. So, yep. Someone said, I needed to hear this at this time. I really came to a pause and I'm trying to figure out my next move. So, yes, I'm putting me first and being on the journey of being in my true purpose. Thank you. You're absolutely welcome. Absolutely welcome. So yes, if you need me, you know where to reach me. Thanks you all. I'm truly honored to do mental health moment here for the last couple of years. And again, thank you so much for taking care of yourself. That makes me happy. Just when I hear you all stories and I hear your DMs and I hear what you're working on, it makes me really happy. So take care of yourselves. Be well. I'll see you next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. So I'll see you all next week. Bye, y'all.